You know, it's kind of scary getting pulled over for speeding. You start sweating, heart begins to race, and you're late for an important meeting, praying that you have no marks on your record and that a tail light isn't out. Will this be a $200 ticket or will I get handcuffed? In this moment, cooler heads must prevail, and if you're nice, you may get away with a warning. Stay with us for The Stop with motivational speaker Dwayne Bryant, now on CounterPoint with Gerard McClendon.
So I'm looking at my rearview mirror like, is he gonna come out? Is he gonna come out? I slowed down, then I saw him, and I'm like, dude, you're speeding. You know he's coming for you. Just don't let him have to chase you. Just pull over on the side of the street.
So as soon as I got off to the exit, I activated my lights and pulled over the individual.
So I pull over on the side of the street. I'm like, okay, while he's doing, let me get my ID ready. I want everything in my hand.
Got out of the vehicle, and first thing that comes to mind, of course, with every officer when they stop vehicles is, does this person have a gun? Is this person going to fight me today? Is this going to be a good, easy stop, or is this going to be something where I have to use all my training that I've been taught?
Wow, that's what I'm talking about, man. Dwayne Bryant, he was under the gun. Thank you for joining us on CounterPoint. Call or text us at 844-777-9311. Tweet me at GerardMC. Send Facebook comments to CounterPoint Gerard. And hey, joining me at the CounterPoint today to talk about how to get pulled over by a state police officer and live to see tomorrow, motivational speaker Dwayne Bryant. Dwayne, man, welcome to the show, man.
It is absolutely
I'm so
a pleasure.
glad you're here today. This is awesome, man. First of all, you are like the poster child for everyone that has ever gone through the anxiety of being pulled over. That is the worst experience anyone can ever go through, man. And so I must ask you, sure. You were speeding and encountered a lane change. These are no-nos, man.
Right.
You're way over the limit. Dwayne, what happened? First of all, how fast were you going?
I was going 85.
In a what?
It reduced to a 60. There was a speed limit change that I found out later on. Yes.
You reduced it.
It was a 70, it went down to a 60.
Okay, and where was that located?
This was on the 90 East Tollway. So somewhere in there, there's a speed reduction that is not clearly posted.
So you're going 85 miles per hour.
Yes.
You're trying to get where?
I was leaving from Chicago to Battle Creek, Michigan. I had a speaking engagement for the Battle Creek School District.
Okay, so squad car lights, sirens start going off.
Yes.
How did you know that it was for you?
Well, one, there was really not that many cars where I was, so I kept looking in my rearview mirror like, okay, is he coming for me? And then when I saw him come, when I hit my brakes, when I saw him, I saw that I was going 80. So I had to have been going faster than 80. So it's like, dude, just move over. Make his job easy. Don't let him have to chase you far. And I didn't realize I had crossed 3 lanes of highways without signaling. I didn't even think about signaling. So it's so many different traffic violations you can do and make without even consciously knowing about it.
You know, before we even get into what happened at the stop, take me back to earlier in the day.
Okay.
So you woke up that morning, you know, you had breakfast or whatever, and you were headed to the speaking engagement. And was it just a normal day for you?
Well, it was a normal day. I was feeling great. I had my presentation prepared. I had about 500 teachers that I was going to knock them out. You know, I was looking at their data, so I knew their district very well, and I knew what I wanted to talk about how to close the achievement gap, equity and attainment, how to motivate young, high-risk people, African-American, Hispanic males. So I was totally pumped. So I'm in the car, I got my music. First I was playing Hill song, you know, I'm like, just the praise and worship, you know, thank you, Lord, for this engagement. And I'm like, okay, that's good. So I hit Biggie. So now Hypnotize is on. I'm like, whoa.
So you hit Biggie and something happened.
Yeah, boom. It just kind of just naturally transitioned. And so I'm driving fast and not thinking how fast I was going, and then boom. So Yeah, it was a great day. Wasn't angry, and it wasn't, just a good day, and I was focused trying to get to where I was going.
It's interesting because I thought about this. I said, how blessed is this guy to
yeah.
be going 85 miles per hour? He gets clocked, he changes lanes, and he encounters Indiana State Police Officer Aaron Weller.
Absolutely.
And he
professional, trained, poised.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So what were your expectations and perceptions after
Sure.
you got pulled over? What's going on in your head?
Well, in my head, I was a little concerned because normally, an officer would come to your your mirror, your window. He came around to the other side, but it makes sense in retrospect because here's the road. So why would he be standing in the road? So he came around to this side, and the last time I got stopped in Chicago, when officers came to this side, they came aggressively. They pulled out guns.
Really?
He was saying I could pull you out of the car.
You had guns pulled on you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And so my mind immediately went back to, whoa. So, I'm a little nervous, don't know how it's going to go. Fortunately, I actually had this brochure in the seat, and he said, who are you? So I was like,
right here.
This is me.
This is
yeah,
me.
yeah. And so he just said, do you know how fast I caught you? And he said, you crossed 3 lanes of highway. Then I thought about Sandra Bland because that happened a few months prior.
You probably were thinking about Rodney King, Sandra
Listen,
Bland, O.J. Simpson, everybody.
It's unfortunate that you have to go. It's unfortunate that in America, you have to really think about all of that stuff. And that's can be a little traumatic. Right. So I can see where people mess up. I can see where people stutter. I can see where people are just nervous and they may answer the question incorrectly or whatever. But I was consciously talking to myself that be cool.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool. And they always say that when you escalate things through
Absolutely.
heat, things can only get worse and worse.
Absolutely.
But you say, I got to mellow this thing out.
Absolutely.
I've got a speaking engagement to get to.
Right.
I
Right.
need to get home safely.
Correct.
So does this officer.
Correct. Absolutely.
And I have to make sure that I don't escalate. Sometimes our skin color is a perception and expectation that kind of raises people's anxiety, but until they find out that Dwayne Bryant, now this should have been assumed anyway, but until they find out that a Dwayne Bryant can speak well, he's cool, he's professional, he is not trying to intimidate the officer, he is just trying to get where he's going as well. Talk about the conversation with the state trooper.
Sure. The first thing he asks is, do you know why I stop you? And I'm like, nope.
I was listening to
Right.
Biggie.
Exactly. And I had turned that off. By the time he got to my car, the radio was
You
completely
turned
off.
the Notorious B.I.G. off?
I turned him completely. I figured Biggie got me this ticket when he said flashing lights.
Yeah.
You love your flashing ways. So those were the flashing lights that got me busted.
You didn't have that turned up?
No, it was off.
Okay.
And, he just very professional. Do you know why I stopped you? And then he said, you were speeding. I said, okay, how fast was I going? He told me I got you at about 80. I was like, okay. And then, honestly, I knew I was speeding. So it was no need of me pretending like I wasn't speeding. And I said, you know what, officer, I do apologize. I was, focused on where I was going, didn't realize my speed. And then he said, and you crossed 3 lanes of highway without signaling. And I was like, I did. And I didn't realize that part until he said it. But I thought about it, oh, yeah, because I was trying to get over quickly. And those are all violations that we're not even thinking about, but those are written, moving violations that you can get ticketed for. And when he talked about it, he asked me for my license, and I gave it to him. I wasn't quoting the Constitution or anything. And he said, well, I can give you a $500 ticket or take you to jail. And I'm like,
What?
that's what I said.
What?
Yeah.
That's what he told you?
That's what he told me. And I said, well,
So you knew you didn't want to go to jail?
I would prefer the ticket. Yeah. But I didn't want to go to jail. I'm like, jail is not an option.
That's not an option.
No, not for a speeding ticket. Give me the ticket, I'll pay the ticket. And so he came back with a $150 ticket. And then as we can just continue to talk, I shared with him, what I do with the young people. And then I asked him, can I take a picture with you? He was like, why would you take a picture? Because literally about a month or two before that stop, I was talking to a group of 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and I asked them, if you're in the playground playing, minding your own business, doing nothing wrong, if a police car drove over, what would you do? And all of my young students said they would run. Oh. And that's when I realized this is absolutely crazy, that their natural instinct is going to get them hurt, may get them killed. and it's going to create a level of suspicion that they're doing something wrong,
Yeah.
which is going to create a reaction from the police. And so I just wanted to show them, listen, it doesn't have to go down that way. You don't have to get shot, killed. It doesn't have to be anything. It could just be a normal, routine traffic stop or routine encounter with law enforcement. You can present yourself properly. You can articulate yourself properly, and then everything is fine.
It's interesting, though, because I've seen some of those videotapes of you asking children that very question. And when they say, I would run, it just tells you right there that there's some sort of perception of fear.
Absolutely.
Here, a police officer is supposed to make you feel safe,
Right.
but an officer rolls up and you have this inclination of fear. That's troubling.
Right.
It really is.
Right.
And your curriculum seems to be long overdue.
Correct.
Because, Dwayne, there are so many people that don't know what to do during a traffic stop.
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
yeah,
I mean, you go through driver's ed, you
Correct.
take the driver's license
And
test.
that's not even in there, how to respond to law enforcement. And that's funny you say that, because now I just got a request. Listen, you need to be talking to high school students in driver's ed. And I didn't think about that. Here's a true story. 2 nights ago, my mom and my sister were in a car in Orlando, Florida. And I just happened to call Mom after the LeBron game. So her and I were rooting for LeBron. My sister was rooting for Golden State. And there's this car, vroom, speeds behind my sister's bumper. And so she's angry, like, who is this, whatever behind me, blah, 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 blah. And so she's angry. I'm hearing her words. And then flashing lights. So it's a police officer. So I said, so she's like, what is he stopping me for? I'm not doing anything wrong. So I said, okay, do everything I tell you. Now, here are 2 adults, educated, both college graduates. So I said, Mom, put the phone on the dashboard and keep your hands visible. Maria, you pull over to the right, turn on your dome lights, put both hands on the steering wheel, and just wait. And she started talking, crazy. I said, listen, check your attitude, because right now he's not here to deal with your attitude. Well, what is he stopping me for? I said, I don't know. So he asked them, do you have any drugs or weapons in the car? And she was like, she got angry about that. I said, listen, he doesn't know what you have in the car. Answer the question. Answer the question. So she's like, I'm not a criminal. And I said, listen, I'm going to need you to tone that down.
She went on defense immediately.
Correct. Because she's thinking, why is this racist cop stopping me?
Yeah.
But here's what's funny. They had the front passenger headlight was out.
Oh, wow.
She had no clue of it. So he was doing his job and stopping her to help her.
Yeah.
But the attitude, so I've heard many officers say, when I stop you, I don't know who you are.
Right.
But your response will dictate my response. And the officers are not trained to back down from us. They're not trained to, sit here and get a lot of abuse. But the Indiana State Trooper said that they were trained in verbal judo, so they are trained in de-escalation, some police forces, but apparently others are not.
Wow, you know what, man? You got to stay with us throughout the second segment.
Okay.
But I got to read some interesting Facebook comments about you, man, and about what you did. Alvin Cheeks, he says, keep your hands in plain sight. All encounters with the police officer are official and legal. Tanya Jones says, I would instinctively place my hands on the steering wheel and ask for permission to reach for my license and registration, giving the location of both items before moving. Ronald Sims says, sit still, wait, and let them speak first. And Raymond Dix Jr. says, I speak in a calm tone, hands visible, and I comply with all lawful requests. Should you get a badge number, give the officer attitude, or just relax and enter the flow, voice your concerns. And we the people, call me, 844-777-9311. Hey, tweet me at GerardMC. Send Facebook comments to CounterPoint Gerard. We'll be back after a few comments on the street.
I think a person should not give attitude, number one, make the officer feel like he's wrong because he might have seen something that you didn't, like maybe your tail light is out.
Formality that the police ask that you stay in your vehicle so that you're not getting out and they're assuming that you're going to get out and maybe fire at them or pull out anything.
Whether you black, white, whatever, first impressions, if you have an attitude right away, I'm thinking there's an issue with you. You get an attitude with me. That happened at a restaurant. That'll happen at somebody sitting behind a desk. You ask them a question and they get an attitude right away that that connection is lost.
Technically, honestly, I wouldn't, but I could see how a person would easily reach into their glove compartment to pull out a, insurance card or something in advance just to be prepared so that they're not.
Tweet me, post on Instagram, or send me a message on Facebook. Let's start the conversation. Your voice is important on CounterPoint.
And he told me more about what he does with the kids and everything, and I thought, wow, this is a really good guy. It's real exceptional. And I was like, I asked him, I said, hey, let me see that ticket real quick. He didn't know what I was going to do.
And he took the ticket and just ripped it up. First, it was like, I didn't know what to think. It's like, are you ripping it up because it's going to escalate?
He got a little scared for a minute. He didn't know what was going on. I told him, just sit tight for a second.
Again, I don't know which way this thing is going. I just know I have a role to play in the stop.
Welcome back to CounterPoint. Hey, motivational speaker Dwayne Bryant joins us for a spirited conversation on being polite and doing your job. Brother, to get a ticket ripped up by an Indiana State police officer is unheard of. This officer, State Trooper Aaron Weller, wrote over 6,000 traffic tickets, and you come along. And he says, I'm going to rip, after 6,000 tickets, this young man was so polite to me. He took a selfie with me.
He did allow the selfie.
He didn't allow a selfie. He just allowed you to
I'm
take
just doing my job. You don't need to take a picture. This is my job.
Wow.
Yep, he's a great guy.
That's big. That's big, man. So let's talk about this.
Sure.
You mentioned attitude in the last segment.
Yes.
Where does attitude come from? Okay, now, we know that if you feel guilty, there's going to be an attitude. If you have a bag of marijuana under the seat of your car and you get pulled over, you're probably going to have an attitude. If you're running late for an appointment, you're probably going to have attitude, all right? Those are external circumstances that we placed upon ourselves. I don't have a bag of weed under my seat of my car. I really don't. However, there are other circumstances that may cause attitude. Where does it come from, man? Where you talk back to an officer, give me your badge number. Why are you pulling me over? Did you arbitrarily pull me over? Where does that come from? And why don't you have it?
Yeah. It's not that I don't have it.
You got attitude?
Yes, I have attitude.
You do?
Absolutely.
So,
I have attitude.
But what do?
Here's the deal. I understand that authority must be respected. No matter who it is, if the authority is a teacher, if the authority is the administrator at the DMV, if the authority is the preacher, if the authority is the law enforcement. So authority, I don't have to like authority, but I understand you respect authority even if you don't like authority. Unfortunately, attitude comes because so many people don't have the basic foundational principle of respect. They feel as though if I'm angry, because I hate to say it, but so many parents are coddling kids today that these kids are growing up entitled and they're not, you don't talk to me this way, my mama don't talk. It's not about you. This is authority, and I have that in my book. Whenever you are encountered with authority, you respect authority no matter what. Some also attitude implicit bias. A lot of times I hear parents saying stuff about police officers. That cop over there, these cops are no good. So if you hear this drama growing up, it's in your predisposition. So when you have this encounter, you already think things are going to go bad. Let's say some people grow up in a rural area. They don't know black people. They just hear black people are criminals or they'll kill you. So if they encounter one, their natural reaction is fear. So it's normal for human beings to have attitudes or implicit bias, but then what do you do when you have an encounter? That's when you need to know what to do in advance.
So you teach this.
I am
You
teaching
teach
it.
people how to back off the attitude. You teach people the principles of being pulled over by an authoritative figure.
Right.
Do you get a warm welcome when you teach this?
Here's what's interesting.
Do they call you a sellout?
Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom. You get all that?
I get 90% of the people are very grateful and thankful because they see that this is about me and my life and my future. Why waste time with dumb stuff? There are some people that's like, well, you teaching kids how to sell out. You teaching kids, to comply and bow down to the white master. I say that's the most ignorant thing you can tell me, because if this was your kid at this stop, what do you want them to do? What I'm telling them or this foolishness that you're telling them. And I guarantee you, every parent wants their child to come home. So when you come with this ignorant talk about, you know what, don't back down, know your rights. You need to know your rights. Everyone needs to know your rights. I would never advocate, not you need to know your constitutional rights, but you also need to know basic, simple human decency, common sense, and respect.
When you get pulled over, of course, it is nerve-wracking. I've been pulled over more than once. I've had very good encounters with officers. I don't know if it was the make and model of my car. I don't know if it was the neighborhood I was in.
Right.
Maybe it was my polite disposition and demeanor. I remember specifically, Dwayne, one time when an officer pulled me over. I was driving a Nissan at the time, and he says, "Sir, I'm just pulling you over because there's been a theft in the area, and there's also a stolen vehicle in the area, and the stolen vehicle is similar to your car."
Probable cause.
Yes. And so I'm furious. I think I was in my mid-20s then. I'm really upset. I'm trying to get where I'm going. Right. This is about something. I took a deep breath.
Yeah.
Thought about, what was critical for that day.
Right.
Took a deep breath, kept looking in my rearview mirror, because when they're running the plate on you, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
When they're running the plate.
Because you don't know. Absolutely.
And it takes forever when they run a plate. I don't know if they do that on purpose, but it doesn't take like 30 seconds or a minute. Sometimes it can take 5 minutes.
Right.
He came back, gave my driver's license and registration. "Sir, sorry so much for your inconvenience. Have a wonderful day." I was like, yes.
Right. Absolutely.
I could have easily gone off.
And it would have changed the whole outcome.
Do you think pullovers are premeditated at times? No, let me be more specific. When you were pulled over, was the officer picking on you, or was he picking on someone going 85 miles an hour?
Here's what's funny about that. I had an opportunity to do a ride-along with them later on because we did some more work with the Indiana State Police. And I thought it was because I'm like, come on now. You stopped me because I'm black, right? He was like, I didn't know what color you were. Yeah. So when I did this ride-along, I'm literally in the car. Cars going by, and I'm trying to see. Yeah. And I was a little pissed off because I couldn't see color. Wow. So at 85 or something, I could not see the color of the person in the car. Right. So here's what was interesting for me that made me realize, D, you really have a lot of opinions. And what you think are fact, you got a lot of biases that you believe because I'm black, because I grew up in the South. I mean, I saw, stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm bringing all of this to the table, and it wasn't even true.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't even. In this particular instance, now there are times when police profile, I don't want to pretend like they're all Officer Weller.
Right.
Many are not. But I think the majority of police officers are quality, decent professionals. And I think the minority, when I say minority, I'm talking about 5, 7, maybe even 10%, even if it's that much. But what happens is Chicago has about 15,000 officers. So let's say if 90% are incredible, that means 10% aren't, that's 1,500. Let's say if 5% that aren't, that's 750. Let's say if 2.5% that aren't, that's 300. 350 officers that are rogue will tear up a whole police department.
Yes.
So you can't even afford to have a 3% criminal in the law enforcement. It has to be 0%.
Yeah, anything that's 3% bad, man, is going to corrupt the whole system.
It can. Make it all look bad.
Yeah, we're seeing that happen with Chicago Police Department. Of course, the new superintendent's trying to clean some of that up. But they've been finding some corruption there.
Absolutely.
With alternate secondary drug sales throughout Chicago Police Department and a few other things. What makes you, as we close the show, man, what made you write the book, man? I see this book called The Stop. How do you write a whole book on a police officer pulling you over? What's it about?
Well, you know what? You
got a workbook too?
I have a book. I have a workbook. I have the Stop challenge. This just literally arrived today.
You got a stop map thing going here.
This is a 100% guarantee. If you follow these instructions, you and the police officer gets home safely, because we always say us get home. The police want to get home safely as well. So in everything, I have the right way and the wrong way for both the law enforcement and the community.
So you got graphics, you got the workbook.
We're going to save lives,
You got the book.
Yes, sir.
I'm loving this, man. And it all happened because you were breaking the law.
Well, breaking the law and talking to my babies, my kids.
Yeah.
When I talked to them and saw they're mortified, literally. Then I said, Dwayne, you've been working with young people for 15 years. You know how to talk to them, you know how to connect to them, you know how to get them to think critically and make better decisions. So this book is about 7 personal encounters I've had with law enforcement from elementary school. My first time being pulled over was in elementary school on some doggone bicycles, up to the last one that
You
went
got
viral.
pulled over on a man.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
got to say that for part 2. You got pulled over on a bike. What happened?
My brother and I, my mom didn't have a lot of money, so after school, we went to a predominantly white school. We'd run out to the bike racks, we'd grab a couple of bikes, just ride around until my mom came to pick us up, and always bring them back. This particular day, we stayed out too long. On our way back, a police officer, white officer, was trailing us, and we're like, ooh, what should we do? Should we drop the bikes and run? I mean, all of these things go through your head, even as kids. We had no clue as the danger that they have now.
Yes.
And so when he stopped us, he said, those bikes are reported stolen. We're like, no, we're on them. We go to Lake Sibylla Elementary School. He was like, well, these bikes have been reported stolen. And my mom came. And as they were interacting, my mom said, he said, how do I know your boys won't steal again? Why don't I take them to juvenile?
What happened?
He did not take us to juvenile. My mom said, I'm going to beat there when they get home. He said, I don't want you to beat them. She said, I'm going to beat them before you beat them with your billy club or before you shoot them in their backs.
Yeah.
And we're like, Mom, why would he shoot us in our back?
Yeah.
We had no clue as a danger we were potentially
It's
in.
about safety, and you're trying to prevent these
Absolutely.
injuries, and you're trying
Absolutely.
to save lives. God
Absolutely.
bless you,
On
brother.
both sides.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that. Thanks to Dwayne Bryant for joining me at the Counterpoint. Hey, respect goes a long way. When pulling someone over or being pulled over, obey the laws, stay within speed limits, stay positive, keep your head up, and always be encouraged to voice your counterpoint, except with a state trooper. Have a great week.